Yes, we welcome back to another episode of That Gonna Talk, ladies and gentlemen. And we're here, well, the day after Arsenal pick up a massive 3 points to continue the lead at the top of the table in the title race. 5 points clear. 2-0 win against Brentford. Mikel Merino, Saka getting the goals. And we're here to break down a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Give your thoughts in the comment section down below. Is Mikel Merino the best nine at Arsenal? That's the big question we're going to be answering, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into a lot of other topics. Ben White, Odegaard, other players coming back from injury, other players going into injury as well. Mascara, big news to talk about, big updates as well. But yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're joining from the Gunner Street side, go over to and hit the like button. And if you're joining from the KAPE has pause side, come over to Gunner Street, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're both on the road to 2K subs. So join up, people. We got a lot of content coming to you. I got a lot of content coming for you today. But first of all, before we get into anything, KP, tell me how you're feeling, my bro. It was a good result yesterday.
No,
How you feeling?
no, I'm feeling good, man. Obviously, appreciate everyone joining. Make sure you're hitting the like button. And yeah, I think after the back of the Chelsea game, obviously, we just needed to get the 3 points. I think City played before us. So it was down to 2 points at one point. And I think
Yep.
coming back home, see, Brentford tougher position. We just needed to get the win. And I think it was nice to get a clean sheet. A good performance as well, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not saying that it was like the greatest, but I think there was a lot of good elements, especially the fact that we rotated and obviously go into a big game on Saturday against Villa with some momentum, man. So I'm feeling good. What about you, bro? How you feeling?
Nah, feeling good, bro. And I thought it was a good point that you mentioned about winning against Brentford. The manager said it before the game. He wanted the atmosphere to be a certain way before the game. We off the back of three difficult games for us. All the energy has been exerted. We had to make some rotation, and ultimately, you see what can happen. Fulham and City, we saw that game. City were comfortable until almost the very end, where they almost threw away a 4-goal lead at one point. They think they were up. You see Chelsea yesterday lose to third from bottom leads. Ladies and gentlemen, anything can happen in the Premier League. Even Manchester United again, draw today. Liverpool again, draw at home to Sunderland. It's a difficult Premier League this year, and I think the team with the most consistency again, we've shown that, and I think it was a massive result again to beat Brentford, who are not an easy team to beat. I think a lot of people are gonna just sweep this under the rug as a win and 3 points, but Brentford have had some good results this season, have some good performances as well this season, and they're not an easy team to beat, especially with the style of play they like to play. So very happy with the win yesterday, man. But we're gonna get into a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Who was your player of the match? And talking about player of the match, for a lot of people, Ben White was player of the match. I know we talked on this channel a lot about Yuri and Timber, his development and becoming one of the best right backs in the world. Honestly, for me, he is the best right back in the world. And I think a lot of people have forgotten about Ben White. When Ben White was in this team, he arguably was one of the best right backs in the Prem and the best right back in the world. So it's a difficult one for me personally. You know me, I love Ben White, I love Timber, and I'm leaning towards Timber because Timber has shown his class, especially on the defensive side. But I think this was just a reminder that Ben White can give you massive benefits going forward. Talk to me, KP, about your thoughts about Ben White and ultimately yesterday's performance.
I think it was nice to see Ben White play. I think obviously this season, obviously I think apart from the Brighton Carabao Cup game, we haven't seen him start since Man United, and we haven't really seen
Yeah,
a lot of minutes. And I think this was one of the games where I think me and you both predicted him to start, and obviously wanted him to start. It was nice to see him start and play the whole game, get appreciated for the man of the match trophy, and play well. Like he kind of rolled back the years with some of his passing was just so crisp and excellent. Just the way he can influence the game with his passing. He's one of our best passers in our team in terms of just accuracy, weight of pass, and understanding. And I think obviously just the constant up and down, the way him and Noni were linking on the right side, obviously being a new partnership, but the way he was complimenting him, obviously overlapping, and that's how we got the first goal. I think it was nice to see. And obviously Timber has played excellent this season, and obviously one of my favorite players in the Arsenal squad, the best right back in the world in my opinion right now. And obviously he has that shirt, but I think knowing that we have a player like Ben White on his quality and seeing that he looks fit and sharp and back to his best is a good thing, because we can be rotating these guys in and out 3 games a week and playing them, because the level is going to stay the same both defensively and obviously going forward. They bring different things. I think Ben White is a better player going forward, obviously offers more, and obviously the constant overlap and runs and the quality of delivery that obviously he has and can show in that final third sometimes makes a difference. Obviously, Timber, we know what he is defensively, but I think it was nice to see Ben White play well, get recognised for his performance, and obviously put himself back. I think put himself in the hat that where I think when it comes round to 3 game weeks, he should be starting one of those though. So shout out Benjamin, man. Shout out Benjamin.
Shout out Benjamin as always. I thought Benjamin had a good game yesterday, to be honest. And you talked about roll back the years. Ironically, the assist for yesterday's goal was very, very similar to the one they previewed, the Brentford goal at home again with Kai Havertz, another person who was not a makeshift striker like Mikel Merino, but a guy that really took on a responsibility when we needed him to. And again, just roll back the years, like you said, Ben White. I wouldn't say it's a virtuoso performance. I wouldn't say he had a bad performance. He definitely was class. I think there were other guys in the team that also played to a very high standard. There was good performances all around on the pitch. But it's good to see, again, a guy come from basically the cold, not really getting many minutes this season, and still be able to perform, especially at the back. Because, again, we talked about so many injuries going forward in the front line. We're seeming to pick up injury after injury in the back line. No, it's inevitable going to happen. But Ben White just putting his name in the hat to really show people that he's still that level. He still deserves a place in this team when his number gets called. I want to ask you on that same topic though, KP. Ben White did talk after the game and they were mentioning squad depth, and some people are kind of reading into this and saying maybe Ben White might be looking to leave the club, or maybe even kind of positioning himself or positioning the conversation in a way where he might be looking to leave out the door in the summer. Can you see Ben White consistently playing in this team if Urian Timber is fit and going to be our starter in the big games? Can you see Ben White wanted to take that responsibility or that lack of responsibility and sitting on the bench?
Yeah, Ben White will play in the team. I know the quote you're talking about, and I don't think I watched it. I don't think he said it in that way. He was just saying that our squad is so good that we have players that can start for many teams that are on the bench, and he was talking about himself. He said that Timber's playing excellent right now, playing at one of the best in the league, so he has his position, and you got to support. At the end of the day, we're all trying to go for the league, so that's what's needed to have that level. Obviously, the question is how sustainable can you have a squad where you have 2 starters in each position, and how happy are people with the minutes they're getting, which is why he's got to perform how he performs, stay fit, so Mikel can rotate most of the season. If Arsenal go far in all competitions, we should have 3 games a week more time, which means that you should be able to kind of rotate players, especially in positions where the backup is of a certain quality. So I think who knows? Obviously, you never know if you're reading between the lines, but I think he ultimately definitely can see and know that it's just that talk of obviously it's a competitive squad and they're all pushing each other. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's just what it is. Obviously, guys, as you tune in, don't forget to hit the like button as well. Outside of Ben White, I think there was a lot of other performers as well yesterday that was of quality. I think when you look at the likes of, I think Calafiori from fullback as well. I think Zubamendi, the way, obviously I'm not saying he had any outstanding pass or anything. I think just the way he conducted the game, the way he controlled the game, the way he showed on the board, the way allowed himself to dictate the game. I think it was one of his best and better performances, I think, in my opinion, just the way Zubamendi played. I think it's also interesting to see that the way Arsenal, like the way FC Mandiweke as well, the way he started the game, especially in that first half, constantly terrorizing Rico Henry. Obviously, do you want him to improve his final third play, with his final ball? I think some of his corners were atrocious, if I'm honest with you, but he needs to learn from Saka there. But I think the overall quality, and when he masters that final third, which I think a manager like Mikel Arteta is good for him, I think he's going to be an amazing player, man. Like the way Nani plays is just so good. And then you look at the other side, I think it was interesting usage of Martinelli. The way Martinelli played. It's just so good. I was just saying, Steph, sorry, that apologies. Outside of Ben White, I think there were some other good performances just to mention on the quick, like Calafiori, I said as well. I think it was great. Obviously, marauding from him all over the pitch as well, creating stuff. He had a couple of chances from some good feet. think Zubamendi completely dictated and bossed that game. Like, I think he was just so influential. Not like he played any mad pass, in behind or anything. I think everything was just going through him. It was always available, always made the right decision, and just kept everything ticking. I think another honourable mention was Odegaard. I think I saw the discourse online about people saying he's playing bad, and I was just so confused. I was like, what game are you watching? I think he was amazing. Like, got onto the ball, was helping dictate things, especially in the first half, was moving it very quickly. And ultimately, him and Eze are different styles of players, like, which is why what you should expect when both play, especially if one of them's on the bench, that it's going to be a bit different. But one thing about Odegaard, he gets onto the ball, he shows, he drops, he overloads, he wants to receive it between the lines, and players around him, he's more comfortable. So I think he had a very good performance as well, or a good performance. I would say very good, and I think it was nice. I don't know if you had any other performers apart from obviously the goal scorer and obviously the striker that we're going to get onto that caught your eye yesterday.
No, I thought there were a few good stand-up performances. I thought Madueke, especially in those opening minutes, was very, very bright. He got the pre-assist for the Mikel Merino goal. I thought that was a brilliant piece of skill. Then takes it down the line, beats two man, cuts inside. Should have been a goal. Gets it on target. Again, Ben White did have a good performance. You touched on Ben White. You talked about Zubamendi as well. Dominated the game in terms of dictating that midfield. We talked about it personally, KP. A lot of his performances this season go under the radar. You might not recognize him in some games just because of the type of player he is. He's going to be there dictating the game. And if we're playing well and we're dominating the game and we're doing what we're supposed to do, you probably won't see a Zubamendi. You're probably going to more see him in games where he's having to put in those tackles, having to put in that last ditch effort. Big up Waffle Don, always friend of the channel.
Big up the bro.
Hit the little subscribe button. You already know. Big up.
Yep. Go subscribe to Waffle Don, everyone, if you're tuning in. Appreciate it, bro. But yeah, sorry, bro.
Calafiori, like you said, had some good chances. Marauding from the back. Urian Timber, when he came on at centre back, still was brilliant. I thought Urian Timber was brilliant. It's proving that even if we do have something there, don't forget, guys, Urian Timber was a centre back. We bought him playing from Ajax as a centre back, so we know he can step into that position and again be one of the best in his position again at that position. And like you said, I mentioned Odegaard. I was probably one of Odegaard's biggest defenders last season when I said give him a grace, guys. He's having a downturn of the year, and I think it's hard for him personally to shake the narrative a lot of people have started to build around him. It's going to be very difficult. And the only way he's going to shake it is if he has games like what Este is going to have, and that's dominating the game, undoubtedly be man of the match, and get goals and assists to match it. Because, I mean, he's had performances even in that bad run of form, people are going to say, where I thought he's played pretty decent. But that's just the narrative he's going to have to shake. That's what comes with playing at a top-level club, and that's what's going to happen. You even seen it with Saka. The narrative around Saka starting to build. Even when the game where he's not having the most exhilarating game, he still is able to make a moment of magic and get you an assist. Something you'd want from any player in this team if the game is tight. So I think those narratives are going to build. These are inevitable, but I think these players are strong-minded and these players are going to continue to impress, man. So overall a good team performance, solid team performance. Wasn't the most pretty display, but again, I'd rather take a comfortable 2-0 win and lose 3-1 to Leeds, winning 5-4 against Fulham in a difficult, scrappy game. I'd rather have a comfortable 2-0 win and move a ball about my day. But looking forward, KP.
I think one more shout out though. And KAPE, I think again was class yesterday. I think just his overall game. I think Mascaro was also very good as well when he was on the pitch before he got injured. Hopefully his injury isn't too long term, but I think the way KAPE is taken to life, I think there's something I like about him. The aggression, the way he defends. I think there's a very good calmness about him on the ball that I really like. And I think it's nice that, as you're saying, that we were missing our two main guys, but the guys that are there step up and they look just as good, which obviously is a credit to the squad building. I just want to put that one in there. So obviously before moving to Marino.
Again, we can touch on that as well, because I think you have to praise the next man up mentality, because there's been countless situations where these players have been thrown in at the deep end in the sink or swim in this squad. Like Mascaro, when we first realized him, he came in the squad and had to play against Liverpool away. Like that, especially at the context at that time, that was set to be a title decider. That was a massive, massive moment when Saliba gets injured in the first couple of minutes of the game, and he has to step in there. That's massive for a 20-year-old centre back. And then in Nketiah, when Gabriel goes down in any game, Gabriel has been one of our best players this season. So anytime Gabriel is down, you're gonna feel it. For him to step in and have the performances he's had for me personally, I have to give him a lot of credit. I have to give Nkapie a lot of praise. And why I give those two guys a lot of praise is there you can see, similar to Gabriel and Saliba, they give you exactly the same profile that you would want in the squad. So I have to give Mikel Arteta, Berta, and the backroom staff a lot of praise, because it's not easy to go and have those shrewd signings. Think about it. Mascara only £13 million and Nkapie alone to buy. So those are very good pieces of business when you think about Arsenal and almost being cap strong. Arsenal even if we do deals like that, that's some of our minimum business. You probably won't do much business after. So that's also what makes the window we just had one of the most special ones in my time as an Arsenal supporter, man. So I have to give Berta and Mikel a lot of credit, and I have to give these guys a lot of credit for stepping in and having the performances they've had so far. 2 clean sheets in 3 games for that pair as a centre-back pairing, and the only game that didn't keep a clean sheet was a difficult Chelsea game. And none of them were really at fault for the goal, ironically, came from a set piece. So can't really get too much on them there. But the man of the hour, the man we're going to have to start asking questions about. Before we get into that, big up BBK Sports, big up another friendly channel. People, if you're watching, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join BBK Sports family, another good Arsenal content creator.
Big things he's doing right now. So please go. What are you telling me, bro?
But
yeah, we're gonna talk about Mikel Merino, and the man.
Have to talk about Double M. I hear a man calling him Double M already. You know.
Yeah, shout out to Jordan from Leeds Cannon. Still, yeah, that's
it went from the slander to no man is Double M. Wow, I tell you, man. But hey, man, I'm all for Arsenal fans come back around and giving certain guys their flowers when they deserve it. Because I've been banging on the drum about Mikel Merino since last season, where people were telling me, man, he's not good enough, man. He's not good enough. What did we sign him for? And I was saying, no, people, give him a chance. He hasn't really had his time. Let him kick on. And we were there, bro. We did a watch along straight after, or we did a reaction video, straight after the Leicester game 2-0 when he bagged those 2 goals. Let me tell you, man, Mikel Merino has stepped into the squad, and I can't give him enough praise. Goals and assists against Real Madrid, no goals, assists against a goal against Chelsea this season, goal and assist last night. Another assist against, I think, did he get an assist against Bayern as well? Got an assist against Tottenham. He's on an insane run of form. I think that's 6 goals or 4 goals and 3 assists in the last 6 appearances. I read a stat saying somewhere. Mikel Merino has been on massive form, and I just want to ask this to you, KP. Is the set piece narrative dead? We haven't scored a set piece goal in the last couple of games, since Gabriel's went down. So talk to me about Mikel Merino, because he's also getting these open play goals, and he's also proving a massive fortune for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, man, I don't see any of those tables coming out, and of what the table would look like if it wasn't no set piece. But put the open goal stuff, and like this nonsense on narrative people try to boil around Arsenal is just annoying every time we do something good, isn't it? So like, just the mainstream media just need to shut up, man. But I think Arsenal are second in the open play goals are behind Man City, so that's interesting. Obviously, everyone, don't forget to smash the like button if you're tuning in. Appreciate all the love, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both Gunner Street and give us pause. But Mikel Merino, man, like, I think one of the biggest credits is that in 2 different periods, obviously last season when we lost Havertz, he's come in, scored a lot of goals. Obviously, same calendar year, and this season, since obviously Gyökeres, obviously Havertz, all these players have been out, he stepped in. And the biggest credit is that we've been winning games, and even more so when he's been in strike, we've been able to score more open goals. I mean, open play goals, funny enough. I think, obviously, he offers different things to our other strikers. So the question of if he is our best 9 is an interesting question, because I think he's one of our most efficient 9. I think if I would argue he's the best finisher out of everyone, all the guys that play strike. I think in the way he
that strike specifically, yeah.
Yeah, I think in the way he's very clinical to the amount of shots and chances he gets, and the type of goals he scores. Like, he scores a lot of equalizers, openers, winners, like, which is another credit. High pressure goals and high clutch type of moment. Like, he's already, I think, like, he's not a starter. So I think having so many moments already this season where he's won the games or equalized, I think he's already put himself up there as a real rememberable name if Arsenal do go on to win, because of what he's done. And I think he gives us different things. Obviously, he doesn't give you the running in behind that a Gokeres does and stretching the pitch, which is necessary in a lot of games. He doesn't give you
Do you think we're a
maybe
better team with Mikel Merino up front rather than Gyökeres?
what is it?
Do you think we're a better team with Mikel Merino up front
Uh,
rather than Gyökeres?
I think we'll probably be a better team with. Actually, it's hard to say. I think what Gokeres offers us is necessary for a lot of games. Where, for example, Villa away that we're going up against, I think Gokeres is perfect to start in a team that plays a mid block where we're gonna have a striker that's gonna be willingly running behind and um, willingly running and behind and doing the necessary things to stretch the pitch and give that threat. I think against Chelsea, for example, we needed an outlet. We needed somebody that could have potentially running behind with their high line and stretch that pitch, which could have potentially opened up space in the middle. Which is what before Gokeres got injured, like obviously, especially that little running. I think he, the Atletico game, the Burnley game. I think he started to come into his own in terms of just the overall package, and I think that's necessary. But I think again, with Merino being more of a midfielder and the way Mikel has used him or allowed him to be used as even more advanced, he's been given way more license and freedom to, drop wherever around the pitch, and players have been smart enough to pick up that central space, and it's been hard for teams to mark us and just lock us down. You've seen a lot more rotation of positions. Maybe there's a lot more fluidity in our attacks when Gokeres was playing, but there's a lot more rotation within players. Like yesterday, you saw Calafiori popping up in the 9. You saw Saka sometimes centrally. I even saw Ben White at one point was in the 9. You saw Martinelli picking up central areas. Obviously, we've seen this before, but I think it's been good, and I think it's not a mistake that we scored a lot more open play goals, given the fact that now there's a more of a false 9 year midfielder playing. Obviously, other guys have been able to run in. You have Rice, picking up spaces, and it opens up the pitch because you can't really mark anyone, really, which I think is a different look. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's nice to have these options. So game to game, you can choose. But I think you got to give a big credit for his finishing. Like he scored a lot of his goals are first time finishes, whether that's headers, whether that's strikes. Obviously, he's got a lovely left foot and I think he's clutch, man. Like, yeah, he can be frustrating at times of still some of his play, some of the passes he makes, sometimes how long he takes to pass and stuff like that. Obviously, not every player is perfect, but you have to remember this is a midfielder playing in strike. As much as people want to say, oh, like I still respect him and credit him when he's as a midfielder. I think he has a lot to offer, but I think stepping into a team and playing a position that isn't your natural position and really helping them being important and reliable, it speaks credit to one his hunger and passion for the game, but his intelligence as well. Because that movement in the box, that's a striker's goal. The way he ran across time and movement. Like Ben White picked him out. Like it wasn't that Ben White it was a good cross from Ben White, but Ben White picked him out, and obviously headed into the ground. All those things, boy, man. Like as I say,
and he's growing with confidence every game in the night. Like every game you see him play in the 9 since the Leicester game, he started to grow in the confidence. We even seen him posted on the story. He's no longer a 6, he's a 9 now. He believes in it, and he's believing in. Anytime I'm in and around the box, he can score goals. Look at the Real Madrid goal. That just came to mind when you said first time finishes. Lewis Skelly lays one across the box, outside of the foot, curled it, bottom bins against Thibaut
What a
Courtois.
finish, man.
And we know about Courtois' shot stopping ability. So we know Mikel Merino's finishing is levels. He bagged a hat trick for Spain. Like these are mental numbers he's putting up as a striker. It doesn't even make sense at times. I heard even Culture Cam say this might be the best position change he's seen in his whole entire life. And in a short period of time, it wasn't long ago where Mikel Merino was, like I said, even at the start, was seen as like an average midfielder to most. And I thought, for me personally, I think he's a good midfielder. I thought he was something that I think we needed at the time as well and still need now. A guy that could come in, dictate the game as well, keep the ball, keep it moving, keep it ticking. I went in and around the box, take your chances. I'm telling you, man, Mikel Merino is, I said it earlier and I said it months ago. He's a secret weapon that this team needs to have, and I think this is another player. Every team, you need to have players like Moreno. You can have players like Trossard, guys that when your starters aren't there, who's getting you the goals? Who's stepping up in big moments? And the goals against, like you said, even last season against Chelsea at home, he got the winner. He scored some massive goals for this club, and it's not easy to step in and do that. It's not easy to step in and do that. And to answer the question, KP, because they were kind of saying it but not skirting it. I'll start off and asking you straight up: is he the best 9 at the club, and is he the 9 that I think we should be starting in bigger games? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think he's the best 9 at the club. Like, even though I think he's the best the best finisher out of the 9s, I think he's a great option to use there. And I think, yeah, he's a very clutch player. So I think in a lot of big games you would use him, whether it is from the start or definitely off the bench. And I think whether he comes off the bench or he starts, I don't think that changes, his effect in the game. I don't think he needs to start to get into flow game, or he needs to only come off the
Yeah,
bench. I think both suit him. Um, I'm still gonna lean towards. People may argue. I still probably say, obviously, Havertz really, in my opinion, might be the best in the team right in the squad right now. I think Gokeres is offers the most more, and I think helps the team the most because of his ability to stretch the pitch and running behind. Obviously, you still need to create the kind of chance. I think I really want to see Gokeres, those 1v1s where you just he just puts it into the back of the net easily. But I think Havertz and Merino got a better box movement. But obviously, if everyone is fit, like there's a lot of players, because Jesus as well, like especially when he's in his pump, you can argue like it offers the most. But I think it's Merino probably is fourth on my list. I think I'll give the other strikers above
how would
him.
you rank them? Fourth on your list. Okay,
I
fourth
think
on
I
your
would
list. How would you rank them?
probably
How would you rank
go. I probably would go if everyone's fit now. I'll probably go Havertz, Gokeres, Jesus, and then Merino. In terms
them?
of
Yeah,
the best. What about you? What would you rank them?
before I even get to ranking them, I'm gonna answer the question. Do I think he's the best nine at Arsenal? No. Do I think he's the best nine for this Arsenal? Maybe. It's hard to argue against the evidence. It's hard to argue against a man who almost every game he's playing in the nine, he gets you a goal or an assist in the same game. Like you can't dispute that. And I heard people having this discourse as well, saying, "Oh, well, he might be getting more chances than Gyökeres." Is he? Because again, like you said, KP, he's scoring a lot of one-time bangers in the back of the net. He's not feeding off scraps, but he's making a lot of chances for himself. One and two, the chances he's getting, he's just taking them, which is making you feel like he's getting more chances than he is. But I can't remember many chances he got in that Brentford game. Got this goal he scored, got the little tap in that rebounded. But other than that, he didn't really have much chances in the Chelsea game as well. He had one chance that was saved by Sanchez down low. And he scored a goal. He doesn't really get much chances in the game. He
He's
just
he's,
takes them
he's
wherever he
efficient.
wants.
He's efficient of his finishing,
Very,
man.
very
So
efficient. And again, I think back to preseason. I don't know if you remember, but the goal, I think it was Kai Havertz. I think he and Kai Havertz played in the same team, ironically. Havertz played a laid off. He scored a one-time banger of a finish in the bottom bin. Wonderful, well taken first time goal. I'll say this: is he the best nine at Arsenal? No. I'll rank them no. But do I think he's the best fit for this squad? I think so, man. I think how the team play and the rhythm that this team have consistently played in under Mikel Arteta from seasons prior into now. I think we're still adjusting to having Victor Gyökeres in the team, and
and I think Steph's gonna say that it's, even though we are adjusting to Gokeres in this team, I think the way Merino plays, especially because he's a natural midfielder, dropped into that false nine helps, right? Like
yeah,
for him,
absolutely.
I think it's interesting. What's your ranking of what's your ranking?
Who I think is the best nine generally at Arsenal? Yeah, it's hard to doubt a man. I mean, he hasn't really had a full season at Arsenal yet. We have to give a man who scored over 100 goals in 2 seasons. You have to give Gyökeres. Then I'd probably say Kai, because he was our top scorer in the last 2 seasons as well, one of our top scorers. So I go Kai, then Jesus, then Moreno. So I probably am not really too off with the year how you assess them in terms of genuinely being a number nine. But I think specifically for this Arsenal squad, I'd probably go Moreno, Havertz, Jesus, and Gyökeres, just because we haven't played with a type of player like Gyökeres, and it's going to take a while until we can say Gyökeres is the best suiting line for Arsenal. I think that might also come with tactic change and players getting accustomed, but I think it also might be a personnel change. We might have to see other pieces moved around, other pieces changed in the team to maybe get the best out of a bit to Gyökeres. And I think how the team is set up now, probably more suiting guys like Havertz and Moreno to get in and around those box. Don't really have to necessarily be too much involved in that play, but can get you the goals as well. But
Yeah, I
I have
do.
to agree, man. He's a dangerous player.
I do think Gokeres does offer not something that all the other players don't, which is just that stretching of the pitch, the physical nature, very, very great ball striker as well. Obviously, I think he just
Yes.
needs to get his box movement, just being sharp on the ball and being a bit quicker than some of the defenders and anticipating. And I think because we've got players that can pick out these runs, so that's it. I think though, like we've seen the best football played with Jesus playing nine though, so I think I just want to give him a credit there. Like I think in terms of that false nine and just that kind of striker and occupying centre backs being able to carry the ball, interchange positions, I think that's one player that has anything different. And I think when we get to see that this season, I think there's a lot that he'll still offer. I think happy that he's been on the bench, obviously, just to give him a quick shout, and then obviously hopefully maybe against Bruges he can get a start. Then that Carabao Cup game he can do his thing, because I think there's still a lot for him to offer. And these kind of players will have their moments. I think Jesus winning us a couple of games. You go if Arsenal do win the league, it goes down in the history parts as well. So big shout out. Obviously, everyone don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button to both
Hit the
channels.
stream
Obviously,
10 likes on each. People, come on,
yeah, you heard the man. So let's
come
get
on.
up to 10 likes now. If you haven't hit the like button, we're gonna give you a moment right now. Just hit that like button. So we got 7 people on Gunner Street side. Let's just smash that like button. 8
Hit the
people
like.
now,
Come on.
and anyone on Capers Pause. If you haven't already, just hit the like button quickly and go subscribe. I'll put the channels into the chat. Right now, do you think Merino has the shirt? Is it his shirt to lose, or do you, if Gokras is fit, ready to start, do you bring him in against Villa? Because that's because another thing with Merino, I think as well, the creating as well has been better this season. Some of his passing has been good. Obviously, the pass against Spurs, that pass for Saka as well timed, perfectly executed, and just some other parts as well. Obviously, yes, he has some shaky passes as well, overhit, underhit at times, but sometimes he gets it right on the money this season. So obviously, is it his shirt to lose, or do you feel like you're gonna go based on game to game? Because for me, I would say it is his shirt to lose, but I can't lie, against Villa, I think the way Villa will play, I think Villa in great form right now. Obviously, winning 4 Premier League games in a row. I think 9 out of their last 10 games, I think they've won. So obviously they're flying. And the way that they high press, we've seen how we play in Villa. Normally they play that mid block with spacing behind. What do we do? That do you give the man who's obviously in good goal scoring form right now, 2 goals in the last 2 games, an assist as well, or do you go with Vic if he's able to start and to from that start?
I think you have to though, right? I'd be lying and contradicting everything I just said about Mikel Merino if I go and say Gyökeres starts up front at the weekend, and I say that with 2 gritted teeth, because you do make a good point in saying Gyökeres will give us something different in that game, and stretching the defense and getting onto the end of certain chances, maybe even opening up space for our wingers as well, Saka and I don't know if we're gonna have Trossard back. I don't know what's gonna happen there. We'll see. Or maybe even Eze on the wing, Martinelli on the wing left wing is still a very much open spot in this lineup. But I'd be wrong to say Mikel Merino doesn't start at the weekend. How can you not give a guy who's scored in back-to-back games, getting assists as well? And it's not only like that. I don't think he had the best game against Chelsea, but really and truly no one did. So I can't even give him that. But even before that run of games, I remember in the Champions League when we first lost Gyökeres, he stepped up with massive goals as well. And like you talked about, his chance creation, the goal for Trossard against Tottenham, that chip over the top, adding that to his game is something I've wanted to see Mikel Merino add to his game. That bit of risk taking, because I watched him against Man City when he played in that midfield with Declan Rice, and it was hard to watch at times. Some of the safe passes he was playing, when I know in his locker is a pass. So I think Mikel Merino has to start just because he's in form. Do I think Gyökeres can't win the shirt back? Absolutely, Gyökeres could win that shirt back. If Mikel Merino even scores against Villa, but Gyökeres comes off the bench and scores as well, I think, and we overall as a team play better, I think you kind of integrate Gyökeres in. No, you spent 75 million that we spent on Gyökeres. You have to ultimately not force him in the team, but you have to get him in the team somewhere occasionally. There's going to be games where he's going to be able to fit and play. So I think you still have to work around that as well. But Mikel Merino definitely has a shirt for right now. For me, my question to you, KP, is what happens when other guys come back? Does Mikel Merino move back to midfield? Because we even seen when Gyökeres came on, he played midfield. He got the assist for Saka's goal from midfield. Do we ultimately take Mikel Merino out of midfield, out of striker, and put him in the midfield because we already have Jesus, we already have Havertz? who's already our midfielder turned makeshift striker already? Or do you move Havertz back into midfield? What do you think happens with the future of Mikel Merino? Because I think that's also another difficult one. And I think, how do you make sense of it when a guy has 30 goals and assists in a calendar year, being a makeshift striker, and then you move him back to midfield? What are your thoughts on that?
Just to answer the first question, I think it is his shirt to lose, but I think against Villa, I'm starting Gokras. I think
I hear
end of
that.
the
I
day, I
hear that.
think especially considering the last two performances when Gokras come off the bench, I think he's kind of struggled to get in the games. I think he is a player that needs to be in rhythm. And I think just looking at the previous years, last 4 or 5 years, we've gone to play Villa. They've normally played that, mid-block high, game where Arsenal have tried to pass the ball, but Villa haven't really pressed us, but the space in behind, and we need someone that potentially makes those runs that we're willing to play. Seeing the way we have been playing this season, especially when Gokras in the pitch, where we've been willing to play the balls forward a bit more and try and force it to go long and stuff. I think having that option would be good. I think Mikel Merino, at the end of the day, ultimately, and it goes to your second question, he is a makeshift striker, innit? He is a centre midfield. Obviously, if you argue if Rice doesn't play in this game and you saw Rice come off, Mikel Merino is the guy that you say most naturally fills into that position, gives us where it is. And at the end of the day, it's not like he won't have minutes or opportunity to still be in and around the areas to score the goals. Obviously, especially if you come from midfield, it's even easier for him to kind of be unmarked and ghost into the box and get there. I think Mikel got asked this question. I think he said it's been easy because obviously players have been injured, so he's been able to only have a couple of players that he's able to rotate in and out. But now that everyone's kind of slowly coming back, it's going to be tough. But I think Mikel Merino has to accept that eventually. Obviously, he is a makeshift striker, so he's going to do a job there, and I'm pretty sure he enjoys playing. But when the strikers are back, he's going to have to fall back. Obviously, end of the day, injuries happen throughout the season, so I'm pretty sure he's going to have a lot of opportunities to play there. And maybe there might be some big games later on in the season, some semi-finals or quarterfinals that you play a Merino in just out of his experience, his intelligence, or the kind of game plan you want to do. But I think, you have to understand that, end of the day, there are players that play in that position, and when they're coming back, they're gonna have to play. And he will have, for example, in a 3-game week, you don't mind to rest in Rice and put in Merino in the midfield, and same thing, the strikers you rotate it around. So I think I would go with Gokras just because I think just how this specific game is gonna get played. I think it will be perfect to have him in there, and then when a player like Moreno to bring on to close off the game, potentially get a winner or extra goal to extend the lead, I think is where I'm seeing it personally. But yeah,
I hear you. I kind of agree with you as well. I do think with the Victor Gyökeres profile up front, I do think that's what we're gonna need, especially if Villa even do press us and leave space in behind, or if we sit in and soak up the pressure, to being able to use his pace in behind. I do want to move on slightly to Villa and see how you're feeling going into the game. I know you mentioned them being one of the most informed teams in the league, just as well as us. Another massive result, another massive test for us. We won at Villa Park last season 2-0. I think that was a massive game to start 24-25. That was a big game for us. Again, it's going to be another big game for us this season. We're going to play Aston Villa twice in the span of this month. Once away from home, and then once the fixtures start to play the reverse, we're going to have to play them pretty much in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So 2 massive games against Villa coming up. And over the years, they've been a thorn in our side. I remember the 23-24 season. They stopped our title hopes. Ultimately, that gutting result. We know about the battle between Emery and the Arteta fans. We already know how that goes. What are your thoughts about this Villa game going into this game against Villa? Because, like you said, they're in form. Morgan Rodgers has been playing outstanding recently. Ollie Watkins with a couple of goals at the weekend as well. They're scoring from set pieces as well. What are your thoughts about this Villa team, and ultimately, how do you think Mikel Arteta is going to approach this game before we get into the lineups?
No, I credit Villa, man. Obviously, they started the season off poorly. I think in the first 5 games they didn't score a goal, and somehow they're only 6 points off the top, which shows the type of league and season that we're having this season. But obviously, Emery's a very, very good coach. Someone I do credit, and I think obviously he deserves credit as well. And Villa have a very, very good squad, good players. As you said, obviously Morgan Rodgers, obviously Boubacar Kamara, very good player. Nana, McGinn, they got decent wingers. Obviously, you got Ollie Watkins in there, and they play a nice brand of football. And I think Tielemans as well. Shout out to him in the midfield. And I think it's just it's not going to be easy. They're a physical team as well. They got some physical guys as well. We're going to their ground. We've seen that they're gonna make it that type of game, and Arsenal got to be on it, which I believe we are. Seeing the way our mentality and the way the players are this season, everything looks different. But I think we need to go there. Obviously, it's good that we're going off the back of a win, a good win in a rotated team as well. I do feel like we'll have Saliba back. I think we'll have Trossard back as well. Maybe they won't be ready to, or maybe Trossard won't be ready to start. But I think given if Mascara's out, Saliba definitely will probably get the nod there, and that will be a boost. But I think it is definitely Mikel versus Unai, and I think in their head-to-heads over the years, even when Unai Emery was at Villarreal and all those things, obviously Unai's got his number on Mikel a couple of times. Mikel's beat him a couple of times, so it's going to be definitely based on these two and the tactical battle, and can Mikel out tactic and outclass Unai Emery, which is why I'm pushing a lot more for the Gyökeres thing, because I'm like, no, Unai Emery, they're going to go for the game, they're going to play a mid block, they're not going to press the first phase as they normally do. Play that tight mid block and give Arsenal the ball, with the DMs and our defenders, and when we do try to play the ball out wide, they shuffle over and double team. So Arsenal have to try and stretch the pitch, which is why I wanted a Gyökeres. Maybe we'll see what he does off the left, and obviously have some players that can run in behind or at least stretch the pitch, and that then it creates space in the middle, obviously for the midfield and our fullbacks who tend to drain in. I think that's the big major battle there. Obviously, then trying to get the ball up and stretch the defense, distort their shape, and then obviously try and play from there with the spaces that will be in between the middle and stuff, and pull their players up away from that shape. Obviously, Emery will try and out tactic Mikel. I think he always takes it personal when he faces Arsenal, given obviously the history, and that's all fine. Obviously, there's extra motivation, so, and obviously they're at home. I'm pretty sure he's going to want to win. Obviously, they're in good form right now, so I'm pretty sure their crowd is buzzing. The players are going to be up for it. They're going to see this as an opportunity to go 3 points, similar to the Chelsea game, where they could go 3 points behind us if they win, or we can kind of put them out of their misery or any kind of hope by going 9 points again. So hopefully 12:30 early kickoff on a Saturday, which is a bit unfair for us, obviously, given that we played on the Wednesday. I think if we got that Sunday game, would have been nice. But either way, we handle our business. 12:30, 8 p.m., whatever the time is that you play on the weekend, you should be winning, man. So, what about you? Any tactical ways that you think we should win this game, or?
I thought you broke it down pretty well, to be honest. I thought you really broke down how Villa are going to approach us in terms of that mid block, in terms of not really pressing in that first phase. But then it's difficult because we've been pretty good against mid blocks. I say this season we've had some good results against teams that have kind of been unsure whether to press or sit back against us, and I think we've made teams pay like that. And when having a bit to Gyökeres up front, I think that, like you mentioned, gives us a lot of ability to stretch the team. No, we doesn't play Gyökeres and Martinelli in the same team. Does that hurt you offensively? Because again, if there's not much space in behind, if Villa ultimately kind of negate the space in behind, Martinelli is a player that really thrives on space for me. I think that's when you see Martinelli at his absolute best. And I think so does Victor Gyökeres. So that's 2 out of your 3 front players that are going to rely on space, at least in behind. So if you don't get space early in the game, I think it might be pretty difficult. And I think one thing we've been able to see is, it's interesting to see in these next couple of games how if teams adjust their style of play to beat us. Because I think the only 2 teams that have really given Arsenal a difficult time this season have gone man to man, and it's something that's been weighing on my mind heavily over the last week. Are we going to start to see teams play that pattern? Because again, low blocks haven't been working. We're starting to see Arsenal figure out the pattern to play against low blocks. Mid blocks, the same thing. What happens if Arsenal now faces another challenge? I think even just getting to get work around that is going to be a while for the managers to have to figure out. And I hope even the Sunderland game and the Chelsea teams learn something, that if we do see these things come up further down the line, that I think we already have the tools to work around it, but how he approaches it and getting around it. But yeah, people, we're gonna get into the lineups now. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're showing the love for the love, if you've been enjoying the stream so far. More and more content coming soon on our channel. Hit the subscribe button, people. Just gonna give you a minute before we get the lineups going to hit the like button, hit the hype button, and share the live stream around before we get into the massive lineup builder. It's a big game at Villa Park, KP. We saw a little bit of rotation in the week against Brentford. Am I wrong to say that Raya will not be changed though?
Yes, I think obviously You are wrong, bro. Raya definitely. I'm joking.
What?
Raya's not good. Like Raya's been class. I think the save that he pulled off in the first half again needs to be spoken about. Just the world class. That was
Oh,
a.
what a save it was,
Imagine
bro.
if that went in,
Save.
obviously it would have been 1-1 for time until we got that second goal. So I think we gotta give our keeper
Would
big
have been a whole
credit
different
for,
game. You never know.
yeah, man, that just the quality he shows and just his ability to. I would say just his ability to save us, to keep us in games, in it. So I just want to credit him. Obviously, before we get into it, everyone smash the like button. If you haven't already in the chat, just obviously quickly go hit the like button. Really helps. But obviously, I already started to kind of put, as you can see, it together a bit. I was thinking about the players that definitely will play. Obviously, we heard from Rice himself that he's going
Oh,
to be able to play
okay. I
and
see
be
it.
fit. So I think that came out in Sky Sports. I think Nkapie will hold his position. Obviously, Gabriel's not going to be back, and Calafiori has that shirt. I think we know Timber will come back in. It's a question of obviously if Saliba isn't ready to start and if Mosquera isn't. Obviously, I think Mosquera isn't going to play. I think looking at his type of injury, I think that's going to
Yeah, I don't.
definitely, yeah. So obviously, he said Saliba's a matter of days away. Maybe he just was given that arrest and obviously not maybe forced. But if Saliba is back in the squad, I think he comes back in. But I don't know what you think.
I think if Saliba's fit, you have to bring him back in, especially seeing that no Mascara is no injured. No, if Mascara doesn't get that injury, I think you give Saliba a little bit more rest. But again, Saliba's thing was a knock. They said it was a matter of days. I think they did well to rest him against Chelsea. We come through that, no injuries, thank God. And then we come through Brentford with a solid win, clean sheet again. Jurgen Timber steps in. You have Saliba in street clothes. You allow him to rest for a full week. Come back in, get your rest, let the muscles recovery or whatever damage it was. Come back in alongside Cap. And I think again, when you see this back line again, people, I'm telling you, Nkapia, you mentioned you were impressed with Nkapia's performance levels. I think you're going to be impressed again by the performance levels by Pierre Nkapia. Why? Because not only is he more comfortable to be that aggressor, be that guy that's going to leave him marauder with a little bit, with Saliba no back, giving him a bit of comfortability. But just that aggression, that profile, that tenacity in that team, that's going to be a game where you're going to have to be up for it. Villa even have shown this season that they can get scrappy, that they will get physical with you. And they're going to have a striker like Ollie Watkins who's going to look to capitalize on any space you leave him behind. So we've seen so far in Capia likes to tackle. He likes to play that kind of game. So I'm looking forward to it, man. So I'm comfortable with the team so far, and I think Saliba has to start if he's fit.
Yeah, I think Saliba will start. I think he'll be back. When Mikel was talking about matter of days, I think that just gives me more indication that obviously if there's no setback in training, that they should be available. So that's the same with Trossard as well. So which is good and positive news, of course, that their injuries weren't too long term as well. Nkapie has been class, man. I think I love him. I can't lie. Like I
Me
will
too,
have a
bro.
player profile coming out on him soon. Um,
Yeah.
very very soon. Obviously, and it's in talking about just the fact that we have the best defender in the league, probably in the world right now, out, and we're actually not missing him. Obviously, I miss him in terms of what he brings and his own unique qualities, but we're not missing him. Like, oh, we really need Gabriel. Everything's done. Like the next man up mentality, as you said, and the players that step in just are class. So everyone in the chat, we'll do this lineup together. Comment down below if anything will change or so far from what the players on the screen. Do you agree? Obviously, make sure you're hitting the like button as well. And we've put both channels into the chat. So if you're on the Gunner Street side, obviously there's the Capers Pauser. Sorry, my bad. Capers Pauser channel. And obviously, if you're on the Capers Pauser side, here's Gunner Street's channel. So just go hit that
Yeah,
link and
people, hit the like button.
obviously
Come on, let's get up to
subscribe.
10
So
likes on both sides.
um, obviously, right now we've got the 10 left wing and strike to choose from. In it, we'll start off with the 10. No, we'll start off 10 and left wing. Let's just assume that let's just say Trossard, even he is back and has been one of our best players, isn't ready to start. Do you bring Eze back into the 10? Obviously, meaning that you drop Odegaard for the game, and obviously maybe have a Martinelli or Madueke on the left, or do you go keep Odegaard in there? Bring Eze off the left potentially, and have him on the left. What are you thinking?
I'd probably go Odegaard in the 10, Eze on left wing, because one, I can't see the manager dropping Odegaard after Odegaard has proven that he's fit. He's the captain. We know Mikel Arteta, his history. He 90% sure, unless an injury or a precaution, probably won't drop Odegaard. And him playing a full 90, or yeah, he played full 90 against Brentford, right? He did play for
Yeah.
BT against. So I think, yeah, you could kind of make the show where he might be a bit of precaution, but I can't see a world where he doesn't play from the start, and I can't really see a world where he's dropped from this game entirely. So I probably go Odegaard in the 10. No, left wing is a tricky show. Eze Rizzi hasn't had a run of games at left. The run of games where he's performed has been in the 10. So you could kind of make the argument for Eze playing in the 10 over Odegaard, especially for the hat trick he just got to not too long ago against Tottenham. And he has a different ability than Odegaard. In and around the box, he's lethal. So I'd probably say you don't want to lose that ultimately. And I think in and around the box, you also still have a guy like Trossard, who is also lethal and also in form. So it's a difficult decision to make. But I just seen that Trossard is no coming back from injury. If he is fit, I think it's a decision you're probably going to have to play Eze. But one thing I would say about Eze, though, man, is he's played a lot of football, man. And some of the performances in his last couple of games, especially the Chelsea one, you're kind of looking and saying, okay, well, I want to see you kind of put together a run of games. We know you had a hat trick against Tottenham, but let's see you kick on and have a run of games. It's always difficult to do that in top level football. But again, I want to see Eze kick on. But do you think he's playing too much football, KP? Because he's played minutes when Odegaard has been injured. He's even played in the Carabao Cup games against Port Vale. He played. So he's been playing a lot of football this season, man. What are your thoughts about Eze and his minutes?
Before I get into that, obviously, shout out to Udeko, who says Kai Havertz is Arsenal's best striker overall. So obviously, I agree with that personally, even though I think Goka's goal record is obviously way better than Kai Havertz, even his ball striking. But I think Kai Havertz, what he can offer, especially that box movement as well. And if he can get the ball striking right, I think is great. But yeah, shout out to you, obviously, hopefully hitting the like button. I am probably similar to you, leaning towards putting Odegaard and probably Eze off the left. I don't think Trossard will start. I do find it interesting. Obviously, choosing one or the other. Obviously, Eze didn't start in this game. Odegaard did start. Obviously, when Eze came off, he did come off on the left as well. But obviously, I know Saka as well came straight stuff from Madueke. But I think to answer your question, obviously, you said, is he playing too many minutes? He's playing a lot of minutes. He's played probably up there with the highest amount of minutes or minutes played. But I think it's just given the state of the squad at the moment in terms of at points where we only had certain players fit. Obviously, he had to play those minutes. Same thing with Saka, same thing with Merino, same thing with Trossard before he got injured. Was playing a lot of minutes, and that's just what's going to happen. When you're playing for a top level team, three competitions a week. I think you want to get him into the team, and I think especially where he didn't start. And I think yes, against Chelsea he did struggle, but I think a lot of our players struggled a bit to impose themselves. I think the performances from our players wasn't as bad as I think it was made to seem when I rewatched the game. I don't think it was crazy, but I think it was tough. Chelsea were being very, very physical. And obviously in the middle of the park there, it would be very tough. No time on the ball. They were snapping into challenges and fouling. So I think he needs to adapt to being in those type of spaces where, the midfield is congested and packed. And maybe, as you said, Villa might try and attempt to do something like that. But I think ultimately, when he's on the left, I think especially when he came out on Wednesday, not that he did anything crazy, but just when he got the ball, just very clean with his touches, clean with his dribbles. And I think it would be nice and interesting to see if we play him on the left now in a game that maybe there'll be a bit more space because Villa will maybe go one-to-one in terms of their defending. There'll be space in behind for him to penetrate, to try and manipulate. And if Gokares does start, for example, having a player that runs in behind and stretches it still gives him that option to be creative. So I think it will be a big game for him. But I think ultimately we know that when Odegaard is fit, he will be in the team. So more than likely, if Eze is going to start, he will be starting off the left, and I think it is also good to get those reps as well already now, especially in a big game like this where we know they're going to be playing. So would we agree Odegaard and Eze off the left, or would you say a shout for Madueke potentially off the left given how he played? Obviously,
I want to see those. I want to see Odegaard and Eze playing the team, man. Even just outside of that, I think them together also give you something that we haven't seen much of this season, and I think we're going to get onto the striker now. If we end up playing Gyökeres, if Gyökeres is end up the striker in this team, I think that supply line behind him, Saka, Odegaard, and Eze, give you everything you could possibly want. With Saka, you're getting crosses into the box, you're getting cutbacks, you're getting drive to the byline. Any which way, you're getting crosses in service into the box. Odegaard, you're getting balls through the middle. If you're running and stretching the defense, you're going to get that ball over the top. Same thing with Zubimendi. So you're going to get those things when you have Zubimendi or Odegaard playing behind you. And then with Eze, if Gyökeres continues to play the way he's played, I think not all, But I think the first couple of Gyökeres assists came from Eze. That ball in behind, I can't remember what game it was. Calafiori played Eze in behind.
Nottingham Forest.
That was the Forest goal. There was been some other assists I think Eze got for Gyökeres as well. So I can't hate on the supply line. If Gyökeres ends up being the starter in this game, I think this is the lineup you're gonna have to put with him, because I think ultimately that's the most diverse set of chance creation we're gonna get for a player like Victor Gyökeres, especially when people have been saying he's been living off scraps. So I think it's tired to start letting that boy live off of scraps, man. Let him earn his wages up front. But
Yeah, I think
for this game.
I think obviously before I even give that point, I think just the playing the Odegaard in there, especially in a game like this where you know it's gonna be physical. We're gonna have to try and make sure we win the midfield battle. And I think Odegaard getting onto the ball, showing for the ball, receiving it when players are fouling you up your other side, and able to turn and drop the shoulder and keep the ball and keep on showing, even if it's tough and physical in there. I think would be necessary for us to get control of the ball. And I think, as you said Odegaard's been a willing passer in behind for the likes of Gyökeres. I think getting him and Eze into the team, obviously Saka, obviously these are three most creative players in the team. Obviously, that in terms of the three behind the striker is necessary, and I think having obviously Zubimendi as well, adding to that as well, is class and key, especially and the way Rice is playing this season as the best midfielder in the world. It just obviously puts the real a good quality, backup set to that main man, which I think for this game I will be going with Victor Gyökeres in the 9. Obviously, I don't know what you think, because I know you said Merino has a shirt, but I think for this specific game, the way we play Villa, with the team that was starting, I think putting Gyökeres in there, obviously to stretch the pitch, make runs in behind, to occupy the centre backs as well. I think when they're playing a mid block, you need to occupy the centre backs and try and pull them, stretch them in behind, to either drop them deeper or make them try and play you offside of a high line, which is even more of a risk, obviously. So I would go Gyökeres. I don't know who you think. So what are you thinking?
It's still it's so difficult for me, man. You made very, very good points, and I might lean Gyökeres, but I just want to make the case for Moreno real quick. The only downside to having Moreno in this team for me against Villa is you don't want that midfield space too clogged up with your players, and you might have too many technicians trying to work in the same area. So like Moreno, we've seen some of Moreno's best performances, even Bayern as well. He likes to drop in deep, drop off the line, pick up the ball, play in the runners in behind, and even pick up those spots, those late runs coming into the box. We saw it for the goal against Brentford. With Odegaard and Eze in the team, Zubimendi also in there, Rice also looking to move forward in there. Are you going to have too many guys clogging up that space? That's the only thing I'd probably say for Victor Gyökeres. About Gyökeres starting over Moreno. But for Mikel Merino, how do you take away the shirt of a guy who's, again, even against mid-block teams, we had him against in games last season where against mid-block teams, and he still managed to score goals. So he could definitely still get you goals against the mid-block. Having that ability to stretch teams overall might be difficult, but again, you have Saka, who has a little bit of pace, you have Eze, who has a little bit of pace and creativity, and they can also hold up the ball for Mikel Merino to arrive late into the box and get you those goals. And you still have Odegaard, who play 1-2s off of, and still find him in the box to get those goals. So I hear your shout for Gyökeres, and if you ask me, I'd probably lean Gyökeres for the sake of the lineup sake, and I think that's a better suit for Arsenal moving forward. But again, I think that's a big call for Mikel Merino, for Mikel Arteta, sorry, if he drops Mikel Merino and ultimately Gyökeres doesn't get the goal or doesn't perform. But I think that's a risk you play, and I think that's why you buy a bit to Gyökeres. That's why you take the risk and spend 75 mil on a striker who can get you those goals.
So, I don't think he spent it for 75 mil on him. I think it's like 50 mil, wasn't it?
50.
This guy's putting a crazy price. It was 55 million or something like that.
55 plus 10.
Yeah, but I don't count the add-ons until it's officially done, man. But I agree with you. Obviously, Merino will have a lot to offer, and obviously, everyone that's tuning in, please smash the like button. We're gonna hold off putting the strike on until you guys hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. Obviously, we see a lot of people in the chat right now. We appreciate it. Just hit the like button if you haven't already. It takes 2 seconds. It really helps. So if you haven't, and you're one of those people that haven't, whatever side you're tuning in, just hit the like button quickly. We'll give you a moment. Give you about 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Really appreciate everyone in the chat. If you are tuning in, please hit the like button. Smash the like button. Let's get the likes up. And we'll give you guys a moment to hit the like button. Come on, let's get it up, guys. We appreciate everyone, obviously, in Shout out, obviously, Donovations TV. Big you up, man.
Big up
Hope you're doing well.
always, bro. Big up.
Obviously, smash the like button. Go hit the subscribe to his channel as well. Come on, people. Waiting for you before I go into the striker. But yeah, big everyone up in the chat as well. Big you guys up. Appreciate you guys tuning into this late night one. I think the only question is we've seen examples this season now, even against Chelsea, for example, where we needed that outlet. Because I think I won't see it really as getting dropped. I see it just more as rotated and picking the team who's probably best suited. As I think it is a tactical battle for Emery and Mikel. I think we've got to have that option. I think Emery's a very good tactician. He'll be studying in Arsenal. Obviously, we'll be looking at ways to stop the Merino and nullify that. And I think we've seen Villa a lot of times let our centre backs have the ball. They don't really press. I think when Merino plays and we play teams that press us, I think it's good when he drops them to the middle and overloads. But I think where they're not going to really press us, they're going to give us the ball. I think, naturally Saka, we want him behind, but you want him more ball to feet. Same with Eze, if he's playing off the left. They're not like a Martinelli, Madueke who, will stretch the pitch. I think you got to have one player that can stretch the pitch and give more space to those players to operate and play, which Victor will do. But a big shout out to Mikel Merino. I think if for example, Gyökeres wasn't available and we have to go Merino there, I'll still be confident that we can do the job and there's ways that we can do it. But I just think in terms of just the specific opponent, what's best suited to try and really nullify them and take the game to them and beat them, I think this is the way. But yeah, guys, comment down below. Obviously, what do you think about the lineup? Obviously, right now, would you make any changes? Is there anyone that you'll bring in? Do you like the lineup, or what do you think? So let's hear your thoughts.
I do want to add.
Shout out to Innovation says, "Don't care, it goes up top. I just want that W." And I'm with you as well. I'm pretty sure Steph is as well. Like, hey, the 3 points is what that matters, especially in this specific game. Obviously, one of our more tougher games as well. In the next couple of games that we've got coming up, I think we got to maximize the 3 points. But yeah, what was you going to say, bro?
Yeah, bro. I was gonna ask you, with Gyökeres up front, I still think there's a reluctancy to play Victor Gyökeres and really use his strengths, man. Because I think that's the only thing that's been frustrating me about certain elements in the team. I think hopefully with Odegaard back from the start, I think we might see a different level of performance from Gyökeres. So I'd be a hypocrite to come on here and say I don't think Gyökeres might perform tomorrow at the weekend. I think with this lineup specifically, if this lineup is the team to play, I think that allows Zubimendi and Rice to pick up the ball in the central area, be more confident to move forward. We saw in the Chelsea game, they were dropping a bit more deeper for it to pick up the ball off of Mosquera and Nkapia, just because one, there was not enough space, and two, those centre backs struggled with build up out of the back, especially in their first ever partnership in the Premier League. So again, not too much on them, but it was a very, very difficult task for them to handle. I just want to see people play to Gyökeres a little bit more, man. And I think Odegaard has the ability to do that. He has the profile to do that. But like I said, Saka and Eze still have the ability to help Gyökeres really develop and really grow in this team. And I want to see them do that. Again, people have been making too much out of it, but trying to put Gyökeres and Saka against each other. I don't even know where this started to build from. I guess from the penalty against West Ham. But again, even when Saka scored against Brentford, they're saying, "Oh, why didn't you square it to Gyökeres?" I mean, if a man scores a goal, man scores a goal. The same way how Gyökeres needs to eat and feed his family. Same thing for Saka. Again, Saka is a winger. You're gonna say, "Oh, he should be getting assists," but no, man. Saka wants to be the man. Saka wants to be the guy who gets the goals and wants to be the catalyst for Arsenal lifting the Premier League title, especially being a Hale End boy, being one of the highest earners, or being the highest earner at the club. He's gonna take on that pressure. He's gonna feel that way, man. So I have no problem with the Saka and Gyökeres thing, but overall as a team, I do want to see these guys play to his strengths more, because that's ultimately what we bought him for, to get the goals, man. And I do want to see Gyökeres start bagging for us, man, because I think once he clicks, this team goes from here to stratosphere. It's endless with the possibilities with this team once we find a system to consistently get Gyökeres scoring goals.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think we've got to utilize them, and I think the players will learn. And I think having more natural to what the team's been used to in terms of that false 9-year player dropping in, probably will help the team to appreciate when Gyökeres plays, to try and play into his strengths. I think more now that we've been able to have that optionality, and it'll be interesting to see if he does play, if we can utilize that, especially where the space is in behind. I do think we'll try. I think just about the quality of ball and seeing the run early, and maybe having an Eze and Saka out wide, and then having the Odegaard in the middle helps that as well because you have a lot more players with Mendy as well that can potentially play those passes. And I think the narratives of people just trying to turn Saka and Gokos against each other is just like, whether it's opposition fans or it's Arsenal fans, that Arsenal fan boredom, we're just trying to find some kind of negativity to kind of be controversial about when things are going well. But shout out Donovation says, I would put Timber right centre back, right back, players in the 10, Madueke on the right, with Glock 14 and 9. Also, I'm assuming that means he would still keep Saka on the bench. And obviously, if Saliba isn't fit, then I will definitely go with probably a Timber at centre back, or even Ben White maybe at centre back, and keep Timber right back.
One thing I question Conversation that asks is this comment based on the fact that you think Saka, you want to protect Saka more so than anything? Because I think we're resting Saka against Brentford. I think that's kind of an indication where Saka with 90% is gonna start. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna see. I mean, Madueke had a decent 10 minutes, but I think overall end product, I was a bit frustrated with Madueke at moments in terms of sometimes his final ball, sometimes his shot, sometimes his overall decision making in the final third. And I think he's a quality player. Again, he unlocks that goal to play Ben White in down the side. I think Madueke is a brilliant player, has done brilliantly for us in moments. But I just think when your biggest games, you want your best players to play, man. And again, you see it when Saka comes off the bench. Even if he has a little bit of a moment, he's always able to at least get a goal or assist. And that's something I have to give Saka a lot of credit for. It's not easy playing at the top level. Look at Florian Wirtz, 116 million pounds, and he just got his first Premier League goal. Like,
it was an own goal actually.
It was an own goal. Chai still doesn't have it. Chai. But again, point remains then, 116 million pounds still doesn't have a Premier League goal. Saka, whether that's before his hamstring injury, I mean, not even hamstring injury last season, hamstring injury this season. People forget Saka already got injured this season and still has come back and picked up on form. So I have to give Saka a lot of credit. And I think in these big games, you're going to want your best players to play. And even if it's a difficult game, it's a 0-0 for a long period of time, Saka, Eze, Odegaard, Gyökeres are players in that front four that if a chance lands to them, if a moment lands to them, I expect them to take it. And I think they're the ones that are going to ultimately win us this game.
Yeah, man. I think you have to play your big players, and especially where the games come up, we've got Bruges, we've got Wolves at home. These are games where you can afford to rotate more. I think this is probably one of the more tougher games in the next run of games where you want to play like the strongest type of players. Yeah. And I agree in terms of Noni's pace because he does offer that in behind running and stuff. But I think similar to Martinelli, why we won't start him, I think bringing those guys off the bench when Villa might be going for the game if Arsenal's got a lead, or if we're trying to win the game and stretch them out. Stretch the game. That was crazy. So stretch the game, and obviously at the end of the day, allow them to us to utilize the running of Madueke or Saka. So I appreciate that, but I would start obviously Gyökeres, and I would start as a I think, and if Saliba is out, then I would probably go more Ben White at centre back and then Timber right back, just to keep obviously Timber out wide, obviously being a lock up, and keep Ben White in the middle just to help more with that build up and natural passing. Going long, another passer like Ben White to clip balls in behind would be good. So shout you out on Donovation. Obviously, he also says rest Saka plus Villa play a deep block, so we need runners. So yeah, that's why I think you bring them on in the second half for Madueke, Saka.
Yeah.
Just to be interesting. Obviously, you've got Chelsea fan in here, Nation. Shout you out for jumping back in. Obviously, he says, fuck off Arsenal. We pay the referee too much. Did we pay the referee against Leeds?
Chelsea, man.
Did we pay the referee against Leeds, or what happened still? Anyways, you guys back into
we try to tell you, Chelsea, man, every time, bro. We try to tell you, you're not that team. Not this season. Or this season, you're not that team, bro. Maybe next season we'll have a different conversation, but not that. You're not those guys. And I told my boy, all banter aside, bro. I told my boy, I know these are the moral victories you take when you win, when you get a point against 10 men. I've seen my team do these things, bro, and I've seen my team punch above their weight and end up in a title charge. I've seen my team do it. I know where you're at, but your team is not the level. Your team hasn't shown the level this season, and I think you'd be blind to consistently back. And I'll say this: when Arsenal were challenging in that first ever run, we had 50 points in 19 games. We were on points to have 100 points in that season. So we saw a level of consistency. It just dropped off when injuries hit us. It's different to this Chelsea squad. I mean, yes, they won the Club World Cup, and yes, we know they have talented players. But what level of consistency have they shown in this league for them to be seriously rivaled against Arsenal? That's just me. I don't know what you feel about that, KP. I don't know how you feel about Chelsea.
Yeah, man. They celebrated a very hard fought point, obviously given the conditions against obviously a team that's best in the league right now, and they done well. They fought for it, but as we all knew, like Chelsea always had a game like this in them. The big games are not the ones that you question Chelsea. It's the smaller teams, and when you're trying to win the league, as we've seen our teams. We've seen our club sometimes not be consistent in these type of games, and this is what's cost us obviously in title races before, and even when we've been in top four. So that's just interesting. Obviously, as Donovation says, big up Chelsea for celebrating a point at Chelsea. You guys won 1-0. You guys won 1-1, I should say. So obviously, you can continue talking about that. If your celebration of your season is that we couldn't beat your 10-man club at your ground, we're fouling, that's fine, man. We'll see at the end of the season. But obviously, big credit to everyone in the chat. Obviously, make sure, guys, obviously, you're hitting the like button. Let's get both streams up to 10 likes. I don't know how close you are, bro. But let's get the likes up. If you haven't already, obviously, Nation, hit the like button. If you're tuning in, Donovation, hope you're smashing the like button as well. Appreciate it. Before we move on, obviously, what's your score predictions for this game, brother?
Man, I was bang on with my prediction at Villa Park last year. You know, I went with a 2-0 and we won 2-0. Ah, boy. With that lineup, you know, I think the difficulty is Villa are in good form, but they just gave up 3 goals to Brighton, so we know they can't be gotten. So
and they were losing 2-0 in that game, so they had to come back in that game. Got a lot more energy.
Poor defending from Brighton to let them back into it, if I'm very honest. Caught up by some long balls, caught up by a set piece. It was ultimately sloppy, and I think Brighton's performance dwindled a lot, especially in that second half. So credit to Villa for taking the opportunities, but Brighton did not play well at all. Not cover themselves in glory, I should say. If you ask me score prediction, 3-0 Arsenal. I'll tell you what, I'll go 3-0. I think we're going to get the first
goal. The guy that's the goals now, fam.
Yeah, man. Hold on, people. Hold on. I'm goals, man. I'm gonna go 3-0. And before people crucify me in the comments, my reasoning for 3-0 is the fact that, one, I think if we're gonna get the first goal, Aston Villa are in form and they're gonna back themselves to come at us. I think that's gonna open up space in behind. And then again, think about when you occupy Gyökeres in that space. Let's just say 2 defenders pick up on Gyökeres. Saka, Eze out wide, Odegaard in the middle. Come on, man. I'm expecting a high chance creation game for Arsenal. From an Arsenal perspective, we need to take our chances, because I think that's been the difference between some of our 1-0 games and some of our 2-0 game, and some of our 1-0, 2-0 games, and some of our massive performances and massive results we've seen this season. We just haven't taken our chances in some of those games. I remember even in the Chelsea game, you take some of those chances, that's a different game. You put that game 3-1 when they have to come out. The game is different with 10 men. Again, look at the Fulham game. I thought Fulham, we bossed them. We just didn't take our chances. Even against Brentford, and when we got the first goal, I'm thinking it's going to be 4-5. We didn't take our chances. It makes it nervy coming on to the end. We ultimately get the goals 2-0. But we missed a lot of chances in that Brentford game, especially in the first half. So I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal. I'm expecting a big response. And based on the team we picked, I'm expecting Gyökeres to get a goal, Saka to get a goal, and I'm going to go with Calafiori also to get a goal at Villa Park. Calafiori to score a screamer too. Feeling it in my bones.
I won't be surprised, man. I'm gonna go 2-0 since you go 3-0. I was gonna go 3-0 as well. I might go 3-0 as well, actually, but just to be different, I would say 2-0. But realistically, I want to go 3-0. I think it will be a professional performance. I think Villa will come out. They'll have a chance or two, probably requiring a very good quality save from David Raya. We've seen in the past at Villa ground as well. But I think ultimately Arsenal, especially if we play that team, will prove to be enough and a lot for Villa. And hopefully we see a Gyökeres goal and another Saka goal as well, just to nullify the game. So Donzavation says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Nashon says yes. As an Arsenal fan, I enjoy Chelsea. House fans enjoy being number one, and then boom, second comes obviously we'll see what happens, man. That means when Arsenal win the league this year, we're not gonna be seeing you. I need to come to your country and make sure I see you firsthand. Obviously, before we get to the final topic, guys, make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like button. We appreciate everyone that has already. Appreciate you guys in the chat as well that are commenting, and guys that are just enjoying the stream, watching. We appreciate the love. Make sure you're subscribing as well if you haven't already and you're tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Obviously to both channels. Obviously, I'll put the link on screen. If you're tuning in from the KAPE Pauser stream, you should have both links in the chat. I'll try and do that on Gunner Street as well. So we appreciate the love. Obviously, before we go, so obviously just quickly, we see Arsenal confirmed today the signing of the two twins, Edwin and Holger Quintero. Obviously more ones for the future. Obviously, they're going to be coming joining the team in 2027, but they're touted to be some of the best young players in the world. Obviously, at their age, winger and a cam. Obviously, the winger's been dubbed as the Neymar-esque type of player. I've seen some of his clips. His feet are amazing, and obviously he's interested in Arsenal now. Utilizing the ban for the future. Obviously, we saw Arsenal get the top prospect in Ireland from Shamrock Rovers. He's going to join, I think, next. Same similar in 2027 as well when he turns 18, and now we've got these black guys as well. Add up to the likes of Darman and Marley Simon. You still got Wanyeri and Lewis Skelly and Brando Bailey Joseph and Harriman and Noose and just all the other type of talents that we have coming up. Arsenal clearly are thinking about when what the team's going to be looking like in post 2030, having these quality talents ready. And obviously, I've seen that they're given number 20 and 27, which I don't think anyone in the squad right now has the number 20. So if they got these numbers, that means that they will. Yeah. So maybe it's for the academy numbers. Maybe they got given those numbers. But I think when they're 18, they definitely will come into that first team. Just your thoughts, obviously, on Arsenal doing a business and thinking about the future as well. Trying to be ahead of the curve and get some of these younger players early, bring them in to the academy, and obviously bolster up that next line of talent that's ready to break into the first team, as well as obviously going into the South American market. Apparently, they're the best prospects in Ecuador right now, and they played for the club that produced Caicedo, producing KAPE even himself, and other players from Ecuador. So yeah, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, you have to big up Arsenal for it, because for years we've been asking the team to do this, to invest in the future, to invest in top level talents and get those shrewd deals. And again, I can't speak enough about how Bertas came in, and I have to give Bertas so much credit, man. The infrastructure now the team is building, this club is building. Yep, it's a good moment to be an Arsenal fan, a proud moment to be an Arsenal fan when you see your team pick up the highest rated total prospects. It feels good as an Arsenal fan to say we have a Matt Stoneman, we have a Harman and a Noose. Even the players that have gone on the left, the Chido Obi Martin when he was here, the Aiden Heavens when he was here, Waneri coming through, Saka's coming through, guys that have gone on to play in the Premier League already. It's a good thing to have. It's a great thing to have. And even if these players don't come through and maybe play first team, look at what Chelsea and City do. They have a breed of football players that are making the money even to this day. Like, even look at Liam Delap and Cole Palmer. They're Man City, the talents that are playing in Chelsea, and vice versa. A lot of Chelsea talents are playing all over the world as well. So I think that's where modern football is going, and Chelsea and City have been financially successful in having a strong youth academy. And I'm glad Arsenal are following suit, because again, not every single, you don't want to be losing out money on just young. We've seen Omari Hutchinson, other young players come through from the youth academy. Ultimately, they leave for nothing, or they leave on very minimal fees. No, I think this is starting to see a change of the era, where even if we do have these young players, maybe we can make some pure profit off them. Maybe sending them in for a few 100,000 here and there, flip them for 5, 10, 15, 50 million. Who knows what some of these players could go on to be, man. So overall, just happy that the overall vibe of the club, the infrastructure at the club is changing, because this is how a big club is supposed to act. And not only just in recruitment, no KP, but the atmosphere on the ground. How we're talking, how the players are, the type of players we have, the type of way we play football, the type of manager we have. I think you ultimately, everything in the phases that we're starting to see is starting to come to fruition. The only thing that's missing is tangible trophies to go with it before we're starting to have serious conversations about the job not only Arteta has done, but overall the Cronkies and the board and everyone at the club has done. We have to give them credit. I think this is a massive job, man. Credit to these young twins coming through. I hope they have successful careers with the club, and hopefully they perform and win us many trophies.
They're good players, man. They look like very good players. Obviously, I probably will try and do some kind of coverage, some type of video on them as well. So it'll be interesting. Obviously, and it's what I've wanted. Obviously, you've seen Chelsea get a player like Esteval. Madrid got Endrick. When they did get Vinicius Junior and Odegaard, and those type of players, they got them early before from their club director. Obviously, you've seen a lot more deals like this happen, and I think I've always wanted to see Arsenal be the team there that's ahead of the curve, and negotiating early these players, scouting them early, trying to get them sign their pro contracts here, and get them for a cheap price, and obviously build that relationship with the clubs as well. These clubs, creating that pathway, and giving them some money, and maybe you get first dibs on some of their best talent as well that's coming through, and talent in and around. So I think I'm happy to see Berta, the network that he has going on, the scouting network, and obviously the team. I think the new guy that we brought in is Mikel as well, who apparently just already started his work. So I think seeing these type of moves and seeing it get done quickly, only got announced the other day. The mainstream media got caught the news, and it's already been signed, sealed, delivered. There's no questions about that. And I like that Arsenal now, even like are doing these go back to your team, join early, signing these guys already, and getting some of the best in their class prospects. Obviously the Irish player as well, I can't remember his name, what his name is, the Nigerian boy, but he's got real quality. Obviously already played first team minutes at number 10, and we're getting a lot of these interior type players, so clearly we're seeing the idea of how the club's trying to go to. And as you said, even if some of these guys don't make it in the first team, definitely will be guys that you can sell. But obviously, as this team ages, in terms of when some of the first team guys that are shining now, if they go, we have next up in-house talent ready to go, and players that we can sign. So it will save you money, and you can kind of keep that train going. So I respect what the club's doing. And as you said, it shows where we're at as a club at the moment. Obviously, both the first team is doing the things. Obviously, we're starting to get the business right, both selling and buying. And hopefully that just obviously goes into trophies this year and continuous trophies. And obviously credit will go to the Cronkies. Obviously, as you said, the atmosphere has been amazing in the atmosphere. Obviously, credit Mikel Arteta, obviously, doing what's necessary to change and help, and obviously encouraging the fans, and the fans doing their part as well. And obviously, the football's been better this year, so I'm pretty sure everyone's enjoying themselves. Obviously, we're top of the league. We're showing a level of quality above everyone else. So that's just what it is. And just before we sign out, obviously, the league table is closer than it's ever been. Obviously, it's a very competitive league. Arsenal are showing themselves to be the best out at it and show that quality, but we need to make sure that we do any teams that are in and around, we're beating them. And obviously Villa's one of these games that we need to make sure we get 3 points, put a 9-point gap between us and them. It was a good ground. We won out last year, so I want us to do better than what we've done last year. And obviously if we've done so far good, obviously we have dropped points at Liverpool, but get the 3 points, obviously put that pressure on Man City. Obviously we play first now, so that will put pressure on them. I know they got a game against, I think it's Leeds, or no, not Leeds, that's Liverpool. I don't know Man City have, but they have a game that just to put pressure on them. Obviously they have looked a bit shaky defensively, so we'll see, man. But credit everyone. Obviously appreciate everyone in the chat. Do you have any final thoughts before we go, bro?
Yeah, just to touch on that, Man City actually take on Sunderland. They're home in that game. That's still a massive game for them as well. We've seen Sunderland is no joke. They just went to Anfield, got a point against us, beat Chelsea. So against the guys that have been punching for the title, they've been getting some very, very good results. And they're also in their own top 4 as well. So that's not an easy game for City. So this is a massive game, like you said, KP. If you pick up the 3 points here, maybe Sunderland gets a result there. We extend the gap to what? If we win and let's just say draw, that'd be about 7 points clear now, from 5 to 7 points, and then a loss for them will make it 8 points clear. So I think that's opening up another massive gap, and I think that's an opportunity Arsenal have taken. We've seen us take those opportunities so far this season, so we're continuing to do so and keeping the momentum going, man. I told people, man, this momentum is serious. 18 games unbeaten. Let's go and make it 19. Go on to beat Bruges. Go on to continue to run, and then ultimately, man, you wake up, and then ultimately in dreamland.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we're getting to that stage soon where if a couple of more wins on the bounce, if you're able to do that, and we're starting to say maybe I'll start saying it's over, man. Like, it come back, because I don't think the teams around us, City will drop points. See Chelsea, if we're gonna still put them in there, we'll drop points. If we beat Villa, I think we kind of nullified them in the title race. So that's just that, man. But I think this is the hardest game of the next couple of weeks. I think if we can win this game and we have a lot of chance to kind of get some good rotation, see some of the players play in some of the games coming up, still keep that momentum going, and with players coming back, Jesus getting minutes potentially, Gokras more minutes, Madueke, Odegaard, Martinelli, obviously if Saliba and Trossard are back, so it's looking on the brighter side, and obviously hopefully then we get Havertz and Big Gabby back as well as soon as, and we've got a full squad for at once, man. But appreciate everyone in the chat. Obviously, appreciate everyone tuning into the lives. Make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and you are subscribing to both Gunner Street and Capers Pause. Obviously, our weekly show. Hope you've enjoyed yourself, and obviously, I'll let you close off.
Yeah, man, people. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Me and KP are both on the road to 2K subs. Let me just pull up all the links for you right here. If you're joining from the Gunner Street side, go over to KAPE House Pausa, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. KP, bigger your channel. Let people know what you have on your channel. Let people know other social media platforms if you want to pick that up.
Yeah, obviously, Capers Pause on Twitter, on Instagram, obviously Kate Ball on TikTok. And yeah, man, just got live coming up. Maybe I might do a show tomorrow. If Mikel drops a press conference, any interesting news, might do another reaction video to that. And not doing a watch on this weekend because it's an early kickoff and I got my kids' game. So sadly, but I will jump on a reaction.
Okay.
I will jump on a reaction game after that. And if I'm able to be back before halftime, maybe I'll jump on and watch along at halftime. But if not, we should just do a reaction to that game. And yeah, man, just obviously the game's coming up freaking fast, so a lot of videos coming out. What about you, bro? Anything coming up?
Player profile in the works. I'm still trying to decide who I want to do on, who I want to really create it on. I did drop a little light player profile kind of video on the channel like yesterday, I think it was, about Eze and Odegaard. So if you're interested in that, people, go and show some love to that video. It's doing pretty decently as of right now. So go and show some love to the Eze Odegaard video I put out on the channel recently. Other than that, you people, you know where to find me. Gunner Street on Instagram, Gunner Street Official on Instagram, Gunner Street on YouTube. If you're already watching from here, you already follow me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the family. And if you're looking for me, my personal Instagram is b.i.g_Steph, Big Steph. If you didn't know, hit the like button, people. Hit the subscribe button. Show the love for the love. And we'll catch you on the next one. Live every week, same time, same place. So don't miss it. Peace, people.
Enjoy. Peace.